Hi guys, I'm here with my good friend Priya, and we're going to have a quick chat and a little Q&A about a retreat that Priya's signed up for and what she's going to be taking next weekend, is it?
Yeah, next weekend.
So thanks for having me over.
No problem, thanks for coming.
So Priya got in touch when I did my retreat series. If you haven't seen it, you can go and have a look. And during that, and when I finished, you messaged me, and we had a little back and forth discussion. And you've decided to take the plunge.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to come today. Priya's kindly invited me over, and I wanted to come to share with my viewers not only how brave you are for taking the plunge and doing something like this, something unknown, but yeah, also just to say thanks for sharing it with me and for everyone.
No problem.
So thanks for doing that. And so I suppose to start with, what made you message me first of all then? What made you get in touch?
Yeah, so as you said, I wanted to go on a retreat for a while. I've been thinking about it, but I'd been a bit too nervous to book it.
Okay.
Obviously going on my own somewhere
Yeah.
it isn't something that...
No, it can be daunting.
Yeah, I was quite nervous. I've sort of thought about it, but not actually booked it.
Okay.
But through chance, you posted this retreat thing, and I think I took it as like a sign.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
Lewis has done it, so
Yeah.
I'm going to do it.
Yeah, well.
So yeah, I really wanted to contact you and see, talk to you about your experience and hopefully get you to force me to book it.
Yeah, well, and that's a lot of why I want to do my vlog for something like this, and like interactions like this, and that I can help you out. It's why I do it. And yeah, we had a little chat, didn't we? And I cleared up some of your worries. And so what? So then, Priya, what made you go over the line and actually book up the retreat then? What pushed you to do it?
So after speaking to you, I felt a lot more confident. Face the fear, just book it, and what's the worst that could happen? I didn't want to go abroad. I think that was too much for me at this stage. I've never done anything like it before. And I'd been talking to a good friend of mine about it. She goes on these types of retreats every year, they're Christian retreats.
Right.
However, she mentioned to me that this particular one that we're going on together is a mindfulness one, which is something I've been interested and that's how that's happened there.
Yeah, it's becoming a lot more mainstream now, like mindfulness in Buddhism and even now in Christianity. And so you can do something like this and not have to be a Christian or a Buddhist. You can just go and benefit from the mindfulness aspect.
Yeah,
so,
totally.
Yeah, so that's really good.
Yeah.
So where's the retreat centre? Where are you off to?
So it's in Reading.
Okay.
It's called Douay Abbey.
Right.
I hope I've pronounced that correctly. Sorry if I haven't. So it's about an hour away from where I am in Watford.
Okay, and so an abbey is going to be like sort of monastery where the monks live, is it?
Exactly. I think there are monks living there. So it should be a good experience.
Okay, and I did a little bit of research just before our chat, and it says on there about the chanting. There's chanting as well, is there?
Yeah. So the day we get there, Friday late afternoon, you have a session. I don't know how long it is. I'm not aware of like monks chanting.
Wow.
Which is I'm really looking forward to. That in itself is like a welcoming, sort of calming effect.
Yeah.
I think
It'll almost be like the transition from regular life to like a welcome. So
it's like a live meditation chant.
And it will. It can really work as a meditation if you can get into it and just open up to the energy of the chanting. It can really just be like a meditation.
Like beautiful
Oh, definitely. And a lot of people like that's a big part of their meditation practice. It is chanting. The Hare Krishnas do it. The Christians do it. Buddhists do it as well. So that's a huge aspect of meditation nowadays.
Yeah.
And so, what are you most looking forward to, and what are you hoping to get out of this experience, this retreat that you're going on?
So, a couple of aspects. Firstly, the guided meditation. I've tried some meditation at home, and my thoughts were just going crazy.
Right.
You know, you can't. The neighbours are noisy. There's phones going
distractions.
off. Yeah, massively. You end up just thinking about the problem that you try not to think about.
Yeah.
So I thought, if I take myself into an environment that I've never been in before, it's totally different. Hopefully, that will help me to focus my thoughts.
Right.
Get some new perspective on, the stresses of where I'm in my head. Try and clear things up in my head. Also, it might sound a bit odd, but I kind of wanted to be reminded of who I am, not just the sister, the wife, the friend, the daughter. But who am I? What are my, hobbies or purposes or?
No. Yeah, and that's a big part of life now. I think in this day and age, isn't it? Trying to find that
who am I?
Yeah, who are you? And like you say, it's important. It's really important.
Yeah.
And so you mentioned about your meditation practice at home, and how your mind was everywhere, and your thoughts were everywhere. And this is an interesting thing about the first time that you meditate.
Yeah.
It's almost like that's meditation. Seeing that happen and watching it happen, and like you say, it can be quite uncomfortable to sit down and close your eyes and be face to face with the mind, and how wild it can be. And like you say, to take yourself away from your daily routines and environment, and almost plunge yourself into this new world in the Abbey. It's going to be really good for you, I think.
Exciting and different.
Definitely. And so, are you anxious about anything?
I'm anxious about all of it, which is pretty honest. I mean,
understandable.
I'm well out of my comfort zone. It's different when you're sat at home or on the bus or wherever on the train with your mindfulness app. With 5 minutes of take a couple of deep breaths. That's it's all good and well. But this is I think the next level. I'm probably doing it the wrong way around. I should have started off with an app, but I found the app doesn't quite work for me.
Right.
It stops my mind sort of temporarily, but I wanted something a bit more involved.
Yes.
I think to jumpstart me into the whole process. I think it's just the unknown for me. It's a silent retreat. We are allowed to talk sometimes. But it's going to just be different. Different place, silence, and I'm trapped in my own thoughts, which is the thing I'm trying to get away from, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I know what you mean, and it's like you say, it's very brave thing that you're doing to go into this, and of course there's going to be some anxiety about going there, and it's completely unknown territory for you, isn't it? So like you say, you're really being courageous there, and marching forward, and taking things by the scruff of the neck, not just because I'm sure many people have thought about whether it might not be a spiritual mindfulness retreat like you're going on. I've spoken to a few people before about just to get away, just to take yourself away, and people are almost like they can't understand it. They say, "What, on your own, without your family?" And I think it's really important, if you have an opportunity to take a bit of time away, and to take a break away from your daily routine, and even away from your family and children, because it just you need a bit of time for yourself.
Just like like a mind detox.
Exactly.
Just re-energise. If things are pulling you, if the different facets in your life are pulling you left, right, and centre, it's good to just pull yourself back.
Definitely, and what you're doing, you're definitely going to have a real opportunity for that. So it's going to be it's exciting stuff. So before we conclude our chat, Priya, is there anything that you want to ask me about that I can share my wisdom with you?
There is actually. So your first retreat that you ever went on.
Yes.
How did you feel? I mean, I'm not expecting to go on my one, coming
Right.
out with all the answers and clear and all,
Okay.
you know, clarity of mind and lucidity and whatever. But how did you feel? What sort of thoughts did you have when you first had your experience?
Yeah, well, my first retreat, it was really interesting. I joined an online school who offered like instruction and guidance and practices. And there was one friend who introduced me, and then after that, 2 other friends who joined as well. So there was like a little group of us. And a lot of people might not know this, but I actually went over to America for my first
Took it there.
I took it there. I went in deep to start. So yeah, I had a partner and a young son, and I decided that it was important for me to go and experience what you're going to experience, a retreat setting.
Yeah.
And so I went to America, to Florida for two weeks, 10 days, and yeah, I've never looked back. You know, it was just it was the best experience I could have hoped for.
Amazing.
Yeah, and so yeah, I mean, it was everything that I hoped it would be and more. Of course, there were some difficult times, obstacles to overcome, but ultimately, having practiced a little bit before that, I wanted to just go over there and intensify that practice and get away from all the distractions and just be immersed in it for a while, which is what happened. And yeah, the being mindful became a lot more open, and the meditation, I was able to go a bit deeper into it. And so yeah, that was my first experience. I wouldn't recommend that to you guys, but ultimately there's so many ways and avenues and opportunities, and this just happened to be my way in. And yeah, I've never looked back from that experiance. So
amazing.
So yeah,
That's crazy.
It was.
Not there. Next time.
It was at the time, and again, a lot of my friends and family, they didn't understand it. They didn't understand what was going on. But for me, it was important, and so I was in a place where I could decide for myself what was important. And luckily, my then girlfriend at the time understood how important it was for me. And then I had to do it. And with a lot of this stuff, this self-improvement and self-development, we need to, in a way, just keep our eyes on the goal that we want for ourselves, and try and maybe, if there's some really close friends that you've got, seek their advice. But ultimately, a lot of the naysayers will put you down and be negative, and they'll make it more difficult to do something that inside, like you say, this who you really are, that part of you wants to do it. And so yeah, no, it was a really special time, and I think about it often. So
I guess people just don't understand, if you, for example, if you want to do something like this, ultimately it's not done for them to understand, because it's your journey.
That's it. And yeah, you're right, isn't it? It's like if they can understand and support you, then that's great.
Yeah.
And if they can't,
oh well.
Exactly. Yeah. Pretty much. I'm sorry. It's something that I need to do.
Yeah.
And I think people have a lot of respect for that. Like probably a lot of your friends, you've probably got some people who have a negative like attitude, and why are you bothering? Why are you doing that? But then there's probably some people, they might not voice it to you, but they're really inspired by what you're doing. And it's difficult for people to say, oh yeah, that's great, you know, that's inspirational. Like people don't feel like they can voice those sort of thoughts. But I think what you're doing, your friends and family, I think it's going to impact them in a way, showing how brave you are to take this step.
Self-love, it's just like
self-love, that's right. And I mean, it's really important. Self-love, self-development, taking time for yourself in this busy day and age.
Definitely.
It's I think for me, it's why I'm sharing these vlogs and ideas, because it is important. It is important.
So would you have any advice for me before I go in, sort of expectations and anything?
Yeah, so probably it's best not to give too much advice, because I wouldn't want to like shape or taint. Yeah. But there is one bit of advice that I got before I'd go away, and probably very generic advice that I would give to everyone, it's to have as few expectations as possible, and to just be open to whatever it is that's going on. Because if you've got a lot of expectations, then it's very unlikely that what you'll experience will be anything like that.
Yeah, sure.
So it will be easy to be disappointed if you've got a lot of expectations, and like we said earlier, it's the unknown. So how can you have any expectations about the unknown? So just go in with what was the advice that I got? Let me remember it. It was really special. Drop the mind and open the heart.
Okay.
So it's like your mind's going to go wild, but just try and ignore the mind and just experience what it is that's there to be experienced.
Yeah.
And so I think if you can do that, go in with no expectations and just
positivity.
Positive.
Take everything as a positive. Try and see the positive.
Yes.
Even through the fear and the nerves and.
Definitely, yeah. And you've hit it in one. It's just to and keep in mind what it is why you're going, the reasons that caused you to go, and just try and really just feed off the energy of the place, the silence and the atmosphere, and then try and bring some of that back with you to your daily life. So Priya, thanks so much for inviting me over and having this conversation, and I'm sure the viewers have really taken a lot of inspiration from it. And so Priya's kindly offered to document some of the images of where she'll be going, and we're going to do a follow-up episode after you finish, so you'll be able to reflect on some of these questions and thoughts, and be able to share what it was like. So I'm really excited to hear all about it, and I'm sure that some of you are too. And so if you do want to see the follow-up episode, be sure to subscribe to the channel so that you'll hear about it. And Priya, best of luck with your retreat, and just go in there with an open mind and no expectations, and I'm sure you'll be fine. No, you will. Okay, so thanks for watching.
Bye, guys.
See you soon. Bye.